day 3 of the 5-day beginner yoga journey with me, Allie, the Journey Junkie, in the Zen Den. So what have we covered so far? First of all, we've learned how to connect our breath with movement. We've learned some of the basic standing postures, Warrior 2, Crescent Pose, Mountain Pose. We've learned the beginning portions of a sun salutation, inhaling the arms up, exhaling them down, inhale, halfway lift. We have gotten a little bit into our hips and moved around in that way. And we started the journey on back bending. So we've done some baby back bending on the ground. We went into Dhanurasana, that bow pose. We've been doing a Sphinx pose, and today we're going to move a little bit deeper into eventually a full sun salutation. So today we're going to work on strengthening our upper body through push-ups. We're going to work further into our back bending through Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Work into a little bit of balancing posture, as well as continue to stabilize and familiarize ourselves with Warrior 2 and Crescent Pose. So with that said, we're going to start standing today. And the good news is, if you made it to your mat for day 3, you have officially made it to the halfway point of the 5-day beginner yoga journey. Bravo. And once we're done with this class, you'll be more than halfway. So we are well on our way to being flowing, moving, grooving, beautiful, connected yogis. And I'll stop talking now. So let's start standing in mountain pose, Tadasana. Big toes together to touch. Start to gently activate the legs, drawing the kneecaps up. Tailbone softens down as the belly button rises. Shoulders roll onto the back. Release the hands down by your side. Maintain all of this as we start to just stretch into the neck. So drop the chin to the chest. Stretching the back side of our neck. Breathe here for one more round of breath. On the next inhale, let the head roll over to the right, so right ear coming towards the right shoulder, and then relax both shoulders down and away. Breathe into that left side of your neck, releasing the left trapezius. Oh, it feels so good. Or more like it hurts so good. One more round of breath. Exhale, release the chin back down to the chest, roll over to the left. Left ear to left shoulder, relax both shoulders down. Breathe into that right side. Hurts so good. I do this at my desk all the time. Feel free to join me while you're sitting in cube land. Or if you don't sit in cube land, everyone's invited. One more round of breath. Exhale, back down to the chest. Inhale to lift the head back up. Open those eyes. Inhale the arms straight up to the sky. Huge breath in. Exhale, bend the knees and forward fold. Relax the head and neck. Inhale, lift halfway. Hands come to shins, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale to rise all the way back up. Hands sweep, palms touch, gaze lifts. Exhale, right back down, forward fold, bend the knees. Release the head and neck, relax the chest. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Hug low belly in, shoulders roll back. Exhale, release. Inhale, bend the knees, engage the core, rise all the way up. Gaze at those fingertips, grow tall. Last time, exhale to forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale to plant the hands and step back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So like we've talked about each class, we want to ensure that the knees are bent to create space in the hamstrings and the low back, right? Unless you're super flexible, go ahead and work towards dropping the heels and straightening the legs, but most of us are not in that boat. Once you've got the back side all sorted out, start to focus on the front side. So the fingers are rooting down into the earth, specifically the space between the thumb and the index. We're lifting up out of our wrists and forearms, are strengthening and stabilizing us, rotating the upper arms out, making that long line of energy from fingertips all the way up to the sits bones. Space all throughout the spine. Feel free to wiggle here. We got 3 more breaths. Bicycle the legs if that feels good. 1 more round of breath. On inhale, gaze forward at your fingertips and rock forward into plank pose. It's going to take some core stability and strength. Take 1 more inhale here. Exhale to drop the knees. Here's where we start to work into chaturanga preps, right? So we did a little bit of it last class, where we're going to do 5 push-ups, where the elbows, let me just demo this first one. The elbows will hug, you'll let the shoulders, first of all, pass the wrists. Then as you bend the elbows, they will hug in towards the chest, and we lower down. We come right back up. Okay, lots of upper body strength. Let's get started. So tabletop pose. Also, something nice to do is to cross the ankles. Just make sure halfway through you cross it the other way. I don't know why, it's like a comfort for me. So inhale, breath, shoulders past wrists. Exhale, lower all the way down, elbows hug in. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, lower back down. Elbows hug, core engages. Inhale, lift up. 3 more. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Switch the cross of the ankles. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Last one. Exhale, lower down. This time, release all the way down to the mat. Keep your hands right where they are and slide them back about 3 more inches. Big toes together at the back of the mat. Think like Sphinx pose. So activate the legs, kneecaps lift, push pubic bone into the earth. Except this time, roll shoulders onto the back, bring elbows together, and root down into the palms of your hands to lift up for Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. You're going to immediately feel it in your middle back area, your thoracic spine. Take 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, release. Root into your hands and push back to child's pose, Balasana. You've got 2 breaths here, so immediately come into it. Okay, inhale, lift the gaze. We'll meet in downward facing dog. So we're going to start lifting our leg high up to the sky and sweeping our foot through. It's very, very common in a vinyasa or power yoga style class to do this. So we need to go over it, right? On an inhale breath, send the right leg high. On the exhale breath, you'll curl the right knee into the chest. Really push the floor away, round the back, and step the right foot. So let's go over that again. You would inhale the leg high to the sky. In this case, the right leg. Exhale, knee to nose, round, push the ground away, make space, and set the foot down. That will take a lot of time, right? So in the beginning, a lot of times we bring it through, and we're like, oh, I'm stuck. In that case, take your foot and pick it up and place it there, right? There's no shame in that game. Also, if you get the foot and it comes out to the side, again, just pick it up and place it right beneath you. So we're here in runner's lunge. Fingertips are down, the back leg is nice and long, the front knee is stacking over the ankle. On an inhale breath, we're lifting all the way up to crescent pose. Active back leg, reach through the fingertips, hug the belly up towards the heart. We've got 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. Exhale to lift up out of the pose and transition into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. So that requires that pivoting of the back foot, right? I think this is the 3rd time we've come into that, maybe your 2nd. We'll get better and better at it. So Virabhadrasana 2, heel to arch alignment, as well as fingertip to fingertip alignment. We're hugging muscle to bone here to stabilize and strengthen. Opening through the heart center. Knees stacking over ankle and over towards the pinky edge toe. 3 deep breaths. For the next 3 breaths, we'll come into pumping warriors. So on an inhale, straighten the front leg. Palms come to touch overhead and gaze at your fingertips. Exhale back into Warrior 2. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale, lift high. Gaze at fingertips. Exhale, Warrior 2. Inhale to windmill the hands down so the left arm sweeps around. Back foot pivots. We frame the front foot. We did this last time, so hug the low belly in as you sweep it back to plank pose. Lower the knees down. Let's move through some of those push-ups. Ankles cross if you like that. Take an inhale to shift the shoulders. Exhale, lower down, elbows hug in. Inhale high. Only 3 this time. Exhale down. Inhale lift. Exhale lower. Do what you can. Inhale lift. I lied. One more time. Lower. And stay here to release. Immediately come into Bhujangasana. Start to activate your tail back here, right? Like think like a snake. One long line of energy. Ground down into the heels of your hands as you roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift up. Heart pulls through. 2 breaths. Last breath. Exhale, come down. Take it back. Child's pose, Bhujangasana. Balasana. There's so many asanas. 2 deep breaths. Settle in. Inhale to come forward, downward facing dog. Other side. So inhale the left leg straight up. Exhale, curl the knee in, push the floor away, make space. Step the foot through, runner's lunge. Fingertips down to start, yeah? Back leg is super active. On an inhale, lift all the way up. Use the energy from your left heel to lift up. Crescent pose, 2 breaths. Next inhale, lift up out of the pose, pivot the back foot, bringing it to parallel, the back of the mat. Virabhadrasana 2. Heel to arch, fingertip to fingertip. Open and expand across the body. Hug muscle to bone, stabilize yourself. Feel powerful. Another round of breath. Next inhale, straighten the leg, palms touch overhead. Gaze up. Exhale, back into Warrior 2. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, lower down. Last one. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, lower down. This time, sweep the right hand around. Frame the front foot. Start to hug the belly in as you push the ground away around the back. Take it back, plank pose. Lower to the knees. Here we go with those push-ups. So if you crossed the ankle last time, try to do the other one. It's probably the most awkward one. You usually go to your not awkward side first. Inhale to shift the shoulders forward and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Really activate the core here. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower all the way down to release. Start to firm up your tail back there. Roll the shoulders onto the back and lift up for Cobra Pose. 2 deep breaths. Pull that heart through. One more inhale. Exhale, lower down. Push back, child's pose. Balasana. Got it right that time. And now take 5 deep breaths here. Settle in. Halfway there. Couple more breaths. Next inhale, rise all the way up. Downward facing dog. So something to play with. We're going to take it to the top of the mat. And you can either step like we've been doing. You can walk it forward. So planting one foot. Very similar to what we just did to get into our runner's lunge sequence. Or we can start hopping. So hopping's a little scary, but it's not that scary, right? Like just think about when you were a kid and all the crazy shit you did. So what you do is you inhale, come forward, come up on your tippy toes, exhale to bend, gaze forward, and hop. Right? So let's try that again. Downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, come up onto the tippy toes. Start to firm up that core. Exhale to bend, keep hugging the belly in, and hop. Nice. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. From mountain pose, we're going to explore chair pose, which is a really common posture in the yoga practice, or Utkatasana. Really great overall body toner, stabilizer, strengthener. This used to be the pose I actually detested for probably 3 years or so, and now I'm really learning to love it. I think because I am learning how to activate and actually participate in the pose instead of sit there and hate it. So let's move into it and see if you hate it or love it. If you hate it, I promise you'll grow to love it. Okay, so the way I like to come into it is take an inhale breath and bring palms to face your legs first. So inhale breath to bend the knees and send the bum down to the ground. From here, we sweep the hands forward and up, okay? So a lot goes on in this pose. First case scenario, I want you to stare down at your toes and make sure you can see your toes. If you can't, shift the shins back, all right? The weight is in your heels here. Really hug the legs together, fire up those inner thighs. So glue all that into place. From there, reach the arms high up to the sky as you hug the low belly up towards the heart. So belly button up towards the heart. Plug the shoulder blades down into their sockets, the shoulders into the socket and the blades down the back. You should feel the back side body and the front side body working. Actually, everything is working, but really finding length in the front and the back. We're going to take 2 more breaths. I want you to feel it. On the next inhale, interlace your hands and take the palms up towards the sky as we lower down halfway and the hands come with us. So this is Ardha Utkatasana, half chair pose. We're lowering the hips almost parallel with the knees. We're almost also finding a back bend here. So we're not rounding, we're pulling the heart through. 2 more breaths. Really squeeze those legs, hug that core in. 1 more inhale. And exhale, release everything forward, fold. Whew. Gets me every time, you guys. From here, I want you to inhale and lift halfway. Exhale, keeping the knees slightly bent, walk the hands over to the right. Right, 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 right. Reach, and then relax the head and neck. Just a gentle side body opening. Inhale, walk back through center. Exhale, over to the left. Nothing fancy, just make it feel good. The weirdest bug is on my mat. That's what happens in the Zen Den. Inhale, come back to center. And inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, arms sweep. They go overhead and palms touch. Exhale, hands down to heart center. We're going to move into some balancing. Excuse me while I grab some water. Coming into tree pose, Rickshaw. So we'll start on our right side. I'm going to face you guys so we can talk this through. And we'll go through all the different ways to do this. The best way to explain this and the best way to find your stability is to imagine that, since we're starting on the right leg, that your right leg is a legitimate tree trunk. So the roots go down so deep into the earth beneath you that they will not allow you to move, right? Like there's no chance you're moving unless we're in a giant storm, which is currently not happening. So ground down through all four corners of the feet. Start to activate your leg. The kneecap is going to lift. The quadricep is really working for you. Everything is like, hey, I am a tree. I'm a badass tree. Then you'll notice that I'm already in position here. Hands to hips to start. This is your first tree pose. So connecting the sole of the foot into the ankle and allowing the left knee to pop out. It is a hip opener as well. And you're here. And you are a tree. The next one to move into is to bring sole of the foot to the calf shin area. Again, this is a tree. The last modification or variation, which is the full one, is taking the foot and bringing it all the way up into the thigh. All right, this is the most advanced one. And the way that I like to think of it here is it's an exchange of energy. So the leg is squeezing and rooting. So you're pushing the sole of the foot into the leg and you're pushing the leg into the sole of the foot, right? It's like a total opposition here. The left knee is going out to the side. You're finding that hip opener. If you're comfortable here with your hands on your hips, you can start to bring your hands to heart center. Standing up really nice and tall, rolling the shoulders onto the back, engaging that core center to stabilize you. Now, if you're starting to like waver around and not catch your balance, find something to stare at, okay? It could be a speck on the wall. It could be a knot in the wood, something in front of you that's nice and small and specific, right? Once you find that drishti point, stand up really tall. If you're feeling like, yeah, I'm a tree, I'm so badass right now, you'll inhale the arms high and exhale to open them up like tree branches. Gaze up at the sky maybe. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Exhale, hands down through heart center if you took them out. Release the foot and just shake it out. Other side. Morph your left foot into that tree. Transform it. Okay? All 4 corners. Leg is active. It's rooted. Hands to hips. This is maybe your tree. This is maybe your tree. Or maybe this is your tree. So coming into your version of Vrikshasana. Once you get there, make sure that the knee is pointing out to the side. You're feeling that really nice hip opener. If you're all good here, hands to heart center. Stand up a little bit taller. Root down a little bit deeper. If you're cool here, inhale the arms high. Exhale, open them wide. Find those branches. We'll take 3 more breaths. Everything is firm and grounded and rooted, working together like one system. Another round of breath. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Release the foot wherever it is. Shake it out. Wiggle, jiggle the hips. And let's meet back at the top of the mat. Mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale the arms high. Exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Heart pulls through, flat back. Shoulders roll back. Exhale, step it back into tabletop pose, coming into camel. So if you have a blanket nearby or towel, this is when I'm definitely going to recommend it. Some extra protection for your knees. And we're going to come up onto our knees. So knees hip width distance. Camel or Ustrasana is a back bend, heart opening pose. We're getting towards the end of our series. So this is when this starts to happen. The first one, I'm going to take the modification I highly recommend if you're new to the practice. If you've been practicing for a while, I'll lead you through to the next modification where we bring our hands to our heels, right? But if you're new, like, don't even think about that. Don't even think about it. Hands to the low back. So cup your hips with your hands. Start to firm up your legs and soften your tailbone down. Make space in the low back there. Puff up your chest, roll your shoulders back. Inhale, breath. Reach the sternum and heart up towards the sky as you send the hips forward. Only go as far as it feels good. 2 more breaths. And inhale, rise all the way back up. Sit your hips back on your heels. Close your eyes. Take 2 breaths. A lot of times deep heart openers like camel can set us into a kind of out of control emotional state. Spend a lot of our time with our heart closed off. So most of our day, our hands are forward doing some type of action and going into this really opposite way of movement is it's intense. Like, it's really intense, you know, and it releases a lot of stored tension that's been blocked, especially in our hearts where we hold a lot of tension from all of our life experiences. And this is a tough one. So if you find yourself ridiculously upset or feeling weird or just, you know, like something really unexpected comes up for you, take a moment, pause this video, sit with it, journal it. I've been in classes where people have been crying after back bends, and it's a good cry. Like, something that is being held within you is now being released. And that is the whole point of yoga. We move and we breathe to release stored tension so that we can live lighter, more connected, more in tune with who we should be in this universe. And the lecture's over. Let's come back into Ustrasana. Second round. Actually, I'm not even going to go into the deeper version. We're going to stay with this version. So hands to the hips. Make space in the low back by melting the tailbone down. Start to lift the sternum up towards the sky. Take the shoulders back. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, send the hips forward. Big inhale, breath. Grow taller. Send the hips forward. 3 more rounds of breath. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, sit back, close the eyes, take a moment. Another round of breath. Open the mouth. If you brought that blanket onto the mat, release it out to the side, coming back into downward facing dog. Actually, stay in tabletop pose. We're going to move into pigeon from here, which is a super common hip opener. It's also really inaccessible for people who don't have open hips, which would be most of the population. So we'll move through it slowly and I'll offer modifications. Let's start on the left side. You'll slide your left knee towards your left wrist. From here, curl your right toe under and send your leg back a little bit more to make room. Now, this is where it comes into how flexible you are. Start to glide the left foot closer to the right wrist. So you're bringing the shin more parallel to the top of the mat. However, it's not going to be parallel. From here, shimmy your right leg back. So start to straighten that right leg out. You'll notice that I'm particularly flexible in this pose. So If you're looking at me and looking at you and like, what's happening? It's not a big deal. Ways to modify. So a lot of people will not have their hip on the ground. You can slide that blanket back under. If you're way up here, you can also slide a block under. Yeah? Okay. Do your best to modify the pose. Make sure it feels comfortable for you. If the knee's starting to bother you, take that figure 4 modification. Okie dokie. Look back at your leg and make sure that it's nice and long and straight, coming directly out from the hip socket. Take an inhale breath, ground down through your fingertips and lift the chest high. Another inhale. Exhale to walk your hands out in front of you and down to the mat and relax the chest. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. If you want to bring your block back and rest your forehead on it, I highly recommend it. Sink into the pose here, relax, let it go. Last round of breath. Inhale, lift that gaze, remove the block. Exhale to lift the chest, walk the hands in, and you're going to rock onto your left hip, right? So allow the left hip to lower down. Take your back hand and maneuver your right leg all the way around the top of the mat and straight out. Coming into Shavasana A. So the right leg is nice and long, and the left leg is coming into that tree-like position that we were in standing. Once you get here, energetically bring the fingertips into the earth and square your hips off. Take another inhale here. Exhale the hands forward in front of you and move with a flat back. You're not going to get very far. You're twisting your torso just ever so slightly so it's going directly over the right leg. Take 2 more breaths. Last inhale. And exhale to round the back, release. Catch whatever you can, foot, shin, whatever it is you got, and let it go. 3 deep breaths. Inhale to lift your gaze. Exhale to lift the chest. Bring both feet in towards the center. Bend the knees. Preparing for boat pose and Navasana. So this is a nice core worker. I always start with my hands underneath my thighs. Wiggle, jiggle, and feel your sitting bones supporting you. Start to rock back. Lift the toes. As you lift the toes, you roll the shoulders back and broaden across the chest. From here, start to lift the legs. But don't lose the composition of your back, right? So don't round the back. Lift up out. If you're like feeling really good here and confident, keeping that low back and belly engaged, lift the legs a little higher. Do something with the toes. Squeeze the legs. 2 more breaths. Last breath, reach the hands forward. And exhale, let it go. Cross the ankles and come back into that tabletop pose for pigeon on the other side. Again, this time, the right knee slides in towards the right wrist. Shimmy that left leg back to make space, and the shin comes towards something like parallel, but not really. Once you make it here, start to slide the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Take a peek back, make sure it's nice and straight, and then knowing that one side will always be more open than the other. Energetically draw the fingertips into the earth as you lift the sternum high up to the sky. Take a breath here. Another breath here. And exhale to walk the hands forward and melt the chest down to the earth. If you want that block, go ahead and grab it. We have 5 deep breaths. Halfway there. Continuing to cycle the breath through the body, not allowing the mind to hop all over the place, staying present in the moment. Next inhale, begin to lift the chest, walk the hands in. Lay over onto your right hip, so just gently rock over. Take the left hand and swing the left leg all the way around for Shavasana. So left leg nice and long, right leg into that tree-like position. Take a moment to check out your hips and square them off. They're never going to be square when you start. Again, fingertips down into the earth, energetically lift through the crown of the head, and then exhale to reach the hands forward and move with a flat back. We hold for 2 breaths. That left leg is active, your toes are doing something. Another inhale. And then exhale to let it go and release. Round the back, just relax. 3 breaths. On an inhale, lift the gaze. On an exhale, release the pose. Both feet in towards the chest. And last time in boat pose. So hands underneath the thighs to start. Let's see if we can take 3 breaths with no hands. We'll set it up first though. So hands underneath, rock back, toes lift, shoulders immediately rock back, and you engage the low belly, which creates stability in the low back, right? Nice and long, no rounding. Here we go. Extend the legs a little bit longer. Fire up those inner thighs. Reach the arms forward. 3 breaths. We got this. 2 breaths. 1 breath. And exhale, release, and make your way to your back. Let's finish up this 3rd day of our beginner yoga journey. Once you get onto your back, we're just going to come into a gentle supine twist and wrap this up. So knees are towards the sky, and allow them to just fall over to the left. The right arm extends nice and long out to the side. If you're wanting a little bit more here, you can reach the right arm for the top of the left foot. Okay? From there, if you want a little bit more, the left arm can come to the top of the right thigh. Let me explain this right. And you can extend the right leg out. Oh yeah. That's definitely more. Take 2 more breaths. If you've got all that bindiness, let it go, unravel, and take it to the other side. So the knees spill over to the right, the left arm goes out long. If you're wanting that little bit of extra oomph, left hand takes the top of the right foot. Top of the right foot. The left leg extends out to the side, to the right. Ooh, I don't want to knock my Buddha over. And you can hug it in more with your right hand. Another round of breath. And bend the knee, come back into center, unravel. And find your last pose, Shavasana. You should be getting a little bit more comfortable with this one now. Coming into it quicker. Surrendering down. So legs nice and long, as wide as your mat. Make any last movements. Hair, towel, water. Palms down by your sides. Take a big inhale. Exhale out the mouth. Again, huge inhale. Let it go. Last time, big inhale and hold it at the top. Keep holding. Another sip of breath in. Open the mouth, let it go. Take rest, yogis. You totally deserve it. Shavasana. Start to invite the breath back into the body. Filling the belly and the lungs and the heart with prana and energy. Allow the head to fall from side to side. Make those small movements, toes and fingers and wrists and ankles. And inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the feet, rock onto your favorite side for fetal pose. Take a couple breaths there. On your next inhale, begin to lift the chest. Meeting me in seated pose. And today we'll end the class with the traditional universal vibration of Om. How it works is you take an inhale breath, big inhale breath, and you exhale Om. It's super beautiful. It connects us to our higher vibration and frequency of what nature and the universe is functioning on. We're also connecting with all the other yogis in the world that are practicing right now and on this one day. So it's really a beautiful noise and message to send out. Bring hands to heart center. Let's first just take a breath for ourselves. Let it go. And here we go. Big inhale in. Thank you so much for stepping on your mat again with me. You've officially made it past the halfway line. We're moving into day 4 tomorrow. I really hope you're learning a lot about your body. You're feeling really great in your movements. It's coming more naturally. the breath is helping you connect that movement to your soul. So yeah, really cool things are happening here in the Zen Den and in your home dens. Again, thank you so much for stepping on the mat. I'll see you here tomorrow, same space, same place, for day 4 of the beginner yoga journey. Namaste, yogis.